So the beginning of the beginning, the very first question that we are going to ask while learning HVAC design. What is HVAC? So that is the ground zero, the very first question that you want to find out answer. What is HVAC? It might be obvious to you by now that HVAC is a short form of heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system. So there is one term heating, the other meaningful term is the last one, AC. Air conditioning. When we say about air conditioning, we refer to the parameter we closely control with the air conditioner, temperature. And by air conditioning system, we mean we are going to control the temperature. For instance, let's say inside a room, you want to control temperature as 22 degrees Celsius. So that means if the temperature outside is 32 degrees centigrade, you want to bring it down to 22 degrees centigrade. Or if the temperature outside is like 8 degrees centigrade, which is very low, you want to bring it up to 22 degrees centigrade. So it doesn't matter what is the ambient condition, you want to be 22 degrees centigrade inside. And that means you want to have a control over the temperature parameter. If in such system, you can only bring the heat down. Let's say outside condition is 32 degrees centigrade, and by air conditioning, you can only bring it down to 22 degrees centigrade. We don't call it air conditioning, we call it air cooler. Because in the air cooler system, if the ambient temperature is low, let's say 8 degrees centigrade, you cannot make it up to 22 degrees centigrade inside the room. So that refers to air conditioning, and we are going to control the temperature. When we need it to make it high, we can do it, and if we want to make it low, we can also do it. So we are going to control that. Second important term refers to ventilation. Ventilation is very important. It is related with the outdoor air. There are basically two types of ventilation we do use. One is natural ventilation. And another one is forced ventilation. In HVAC system, we use forced ventilation everywhere. And there are different terms we are going to use in the course. For instance, outdoor air, or we might time to time call fresh air. So what is happening here? Let's say there is a room, and there are some people inside the room. Let's say 2 persons. And you're thinking these 2 persons are going to need fresh air from outside. So we put a fan, and certain amount of fresh air we're going to draw from the ambient condition. Let's say 5 CFM per person. Yeah, that also depend on the ASHA guideline we are going to follow for the ventilation. About 10 CFM outdoor air we are going to draw. At the same time, you need to exhaust around 10 CFM. Even there, if there is no leakage in the room. And if we lost some air, because let's say there is a door and because the door, the 2 CFM is lost, then we will make it the exhaust air 8 CFM. That is the forced ventilation. If we have a ventilation system inside your office or your residential project or any commercial project, people will feel relaxed and people can stay there for a very longer period without feeling any headache or anything else. There are some common response coming from some of the commercial projects that after long office hour, people doesn't feel very good. Some of them people headache and other stuff because for a long time they didn't have fresh air in the office. So that will not make them very productive. So we need to have ventilation everywhere. And the last term is heating. So by heating, we can refer to two different phenomena. The first one is, let's say you want to heat up the room, especially in the colder region. Let's say the ambient temperature is minus 10 degrees centigrade, and we want to heat up the room. For that reason, we are going to introduce a system where we are going to flow hot water and we'll use a fan to supply the air inside the room. So we are going to heat up the room environment and we'll make it like whatever the temperature you wish for. And in warmer region, we use this heating or hot water, combine it with cold water or CC, cooling coil, and we control the humidity inside the room. So for heating, we have two tasks. One is heating up the room air, and another was we can control the humidity if we combine it with cooling coil. So that part we are going to learn when discussing about AHU, which refers to air handling unit. So that's it. In HVAC system, we are going to have heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. So the first one is air conditioning. We are going to control the inside room temperature. So by means we control means if we want to set 22 degrees centigrade, it will always be like 22 degrees centigrade and plus minus something. It doesn't matter what is the ambient condition is. And by ventilation, we are going to bring the fresh air or outdoor air inside the room so that people stay refreshed. And by hot water, we can achieve two things. One is obviously we can heat up the room air. And the last one is we can combine it with the cooling coil and control the humidity inside the room. So that is the basics. Let's move on with some more details.